want me to start?
I mean,
Neither of you want to ask? Yeah.
If you want.
Just didn't really bring it, did we? Unfortunately, we outmuscled, beaten in contest convincingly. The area we focus mainly on at this point, trying to keep ourselves in the fight and come away from games proud of what we put out there. We're not doing that today.
Just in that first quarter, obviously they kicked 5, but then you kicked those 3 goals in. It was like 6 minutes after. I mean, what happened? What do you think happened after that? That you fell away after I think Bruce Smith kicked the first goal of the second quarter.
Yeah, well, we tried a number of different things. I mean, I thought we started slowly, as you said, but we were able to fight back, which is a good sign. We haven't been able to do that when we've been challenged. So far this year, we haven't fought back. So we did that for a quarter, or maybe half a quarter. Came in at that break and sort of, okay, we've done well. We've been able to fight back into a game. But then, to be beaten like we were in the end, we were beaten by a much stronger midfield group. Their bigger bodies. We weren't able to stick tackles. They were cleaner with the ball. We win hit-outs. We get a chance with first possession. We fumble under pressure. So some of that, we know what we were coming up against. We knew coming in that they've got a very strong midfield. But you can't have numbers like we saw. We lost tackle by 13. We lost contested ball by 40. These are numbers that you're nowhere near when you're doing that.
Was there an official tag on Marcus?
There was for periods throughout. Yeah. So we went to Bont. We weren't able to stick that, unfortunately, for long enough. And it's hard. It's a tough one to look purely at that when we're not getting contest all over the ground. We're getting beaten in ground balls all over the oval, and so then we're pressing and we're having to help out on defence, and it's an overlap, and so we can't put that all on Bont getting his ball when we believe we're tagging, but our tag is forced to press.
Does it come down to desire or physical capacity to be able to chase down the Bulldogs and try and lay a tackle or at least contest with them?
I don't think it's desire. I think the guys are trying. It looks like they're not at times, and the commentary around it will be there's no effort. It's not the case. The effort's there. We were beaten by a much better side in and around the footy, and we were beaten across the ground. You look at it coming out of centre bounce. I think we lost. Substantial loss in centre bounce, and they're coming out uncontested into our back line. It's then hard to defend. So you're putting your backs under pressure. They can't come off and help each other, and they've got some powerful forwards, and one of them kicked 6.
With sort of unpressured errors, is that a confidence thing? I think there was a couple in the first quarter where there was a kick out, which went straight to the Dogs from your own goal square. There was a point where there was a fumble with a slip. They scored another goal. I think Seedsman did really well to set up a goal scoring opportunity and then just shanked it wide. Is that just a confidence thing, do you think?
Well, there's some of it is confidence. Some of it's that our fundamentals aren't where they need to be. Last week we were our own worst enemy. We did it again this week. In the first quarter we gave them 3 or so of those first 4 goals. Mucking around with the ball in our back 50, 10 metres from goal, fumbling the footy. As you said, execution by foot. You can't give any sides those goals. You can't allow them to get momentum because momentum then you on the back foot. And we were then on the back foot for a majority of the game.
How do you remain positive after this loss where you said, something, at least you come out saying you've had a crack and you said, we haven't had a crack. How do you keep positive after another loss, but a really disappointing one from your perspective?
Yeah, right now it's tough. Right now we're just about getting around each other, and we'll review and we'll butter up and we'll go again. And last time I sat in this chair, we'd come off a really poor performance against North. We were able to bring it for the next 2 weeks and really come off the ground proud of what we'd given. So that's our task again, is to stick tight as a group. Work on areas of our game we've got to work on, fundamentals, contest. If we're not consistent in contest, then you're not competitive. So that's what we'll do. We'll go away and we'll work and we'll get hard. We've got 5 weeks to now rewrite the ship.
Can Taylor Walker and Darcy Fogarty be playing the same forward line? Obviously, you omitted Darcy for this game. I think Taylor had three disposals and a goal. Yeah, can they play in the same forward line?
Yeah, well, I think they can. With Fog this week, we hadn't seen it for 2 weeks. We hadn't seen what we value, and that's that contest. Now, it's going to be a tough one this week because across the board, our players are going to put their hand up. So I didn't bring it this week, but when it goes across 2 or 3 weeks and you're not able to bring a contest and or you're not living the values that we're after, then we've got no choice but to select other players in that will give everything they've got. When the contest is there to be won, put their head over it. When a tackle's there to be made, tackle. So we make some hard decisions, but these are decisions for the longer term. We're about creating a culture, creating a footy side that will compete week by week. At the moment, we're not able to do that. Unfortunately, we've failed every second or third week in a big way, and we're all in that. We've all got to get better.
Does Marcus Jobe come on text now after his output today? I mean, you showed that you can drop Matt Crouch. You showed that Fogarty. The fans love him, but you showed to drop him. Does the Marcus Jobe players come on text now?
It's hard to put it on one player after a performance like that. And I'm really mindful of us going there because, goodness me, playing in our forward line today would have been a tough gig. So we'll look at it and we'll review it, and Tex and I will sit down, we'll talk about footy and how do we help and how do we improve each individual. But to put it on one player after a game like we just put out there, I think there's 22 players that are sitting there at the moment, and we're all searching. And there's 5 or 6 coaches that are looking at ourselves as well, and we've all got to get better. And we're all in it together, so we'll fight through it.
Why haven't we seen Ben Davis after round 1? You've talked about giving the kids a chance. I mean, he's been outside since the first game of the season. Yeah,
Benny's got a few things he's working on, but he might get his opportunity now. I mean, we've come off a poor performance. Polky came in for this round, has been training really well, been giving everything we've asked Miles, so he had his opportunity today. Hopefully our fans are seeing some positive signs with McAdam. Stengel last week. We've got Schoenberg in the side who again today. It was a tough ask of him today against some big-bodied mids, but I thought he showed something as well. Scholl came in, so there are positive developments from some of our younger guys. Benny Davis will get his opportunity when the time's right. He's working on some areas, and maybe that's something we do need, some speed, and that's what Benny brings.
Sloan started on the wing, kind of as forward defence for a bit. Was there the temptation to move him to the midfield, especially in the first 2 quarters when it looked like Bontempelli was really, tearing it up there?
Yeah, and we did. Sloaney went on ball for a period of time. Went in there and fought. I thought it was good. It was good to get him back out there and just let him loose. We were mindful of putting him inside too much in this game. He'll slowly work his way in and become an important part of our midfield.
What about McPherson? Hamstring, another hamstring, I guess.
Yeah. The league's starting to see a few. He was tight through the hamstring, and with Macca, we're really mindful of taking any risk with him due to his history. So we're fingers crossed that he'll obviously go in and have a scan on that and just see where it's at. But we're hoping we've caught that. It was very minor. Fingers crossed on that one for him.
With a guy like that who's had such massive problems with his body before this year, I mean, you have to be so careful with him to make sure it doesn't come up again.
Yeah, well, through this period, we're on the 4-day break. He took a week off, and we made it a 10-day break. So we've managed him right through. We look at our next month now, and we get majority of 7 days. We get a 9-day break, which is basically our bye. So we're hoping that will help the group in that space, but we'll just have to wait and see with Macca how this one comes.
The game's kind of running now because you have that win. I mean, was there anything that they showed that today that you can say, all right, we might be able to get a win this season off that, or anything the last couple of weeks that kind of gives you a bit of hope?
Yeah, it's tough when you lose like you do to find something. I think you mentioned it. You look at the first quarter where we're challenged, we're able to fight back. it's a positive out of the game if you're going to find one, that the guys are able to stand up, against what was, momentum going the other way. But our defence at this, we've got a fair bit of work to do on, being able to keep that ball in our front half. And obviously we've got to get our contest back to where we know it needs to be. And we did that after the last effort we put out like this, so I know we can do it. Unfortunately, we're 2 on and 1 off at the moment.
Does that get spoken about, being winless a lot? I mean, I think Texas said, if you're inside the 4 walls, you wouldn't know where I went, whatever it was at the time. I mean, does that get spoken? Do you try and keep it not being spoken about throughout the week, or?
No, it's reality. It's what it is. We don't hide from it. It's reality where we haven't won a game for the season, and it's tough. You go back to process. You go back to what it is that's going to get you that ultimate outcome. We're not getting the process right, so it's not rocket science.
How's your own belief? Because you're a new coach, you're still searching for your own first win apart from the clubs. I mean, how's your belief?
Yeah, it's not my win. I want a result for the players, so they're confident, they believe we're heading the right direction. That's what I'd like from today's. We take 2 steps up the ladder and we drop 3 back with games like this. But we'll keep climbing. We'll keep working on it. It'd be nice for our group, for everyone to get a result. But that's all it is. It's a result at this point. Today's a really disappointing day for us, and we've got to butter up, get ourselves out. We'll do that.